And a day before his address to the AU, President Obama spoke highly of Ethiopia's role in fighting terrorism in East Africa. Mr. Obama also urged the country's leaders to protect human rights and ensure good governance. VOA's Pande has more on the president's talks with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia in Addis Ababa.
Mr. Obama said the deadly blast that struck a hotel in Somalia's capital just as he landed Sunday in Ethiopia signals a very real threat facing the region.
Yesterday's bombing in Mogadishu reminds us that terrorist groups like Al-Shabaab offer nothing but death and destruction and have to be stopped.
It was against this security backdrop that talks between President Obama and Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn took place Monday in Ethiopia's ornate national palace. Mr. Obama, the first sitting U.S. president to visit Ethiopia, pledged assistance to help the country fight extremists and praised Ethiopian forces for helping to shrink the territory Al-Shabaab controls in Somalia.
They have one of the most effective militaries on the continent. And as I noted in my earlier remarks, they are also one of the biggest contributors to peacekeeping. And so they're averting a lot of bloodshed and a lot of conflict because of the effectiveness of their military, and we want to make sure that we're supporting that.
But along with praise for Ethiopia's military might came frank discussions on the country's human rights record. Prime Minister Haile Mariam's party took 100% of the seats in May parliamentary elections and is accused of rounding up dozens of opposition members and journalists in so-called counterterrorism operations.
We want to work on this issue. It's our concern. But something has to be understood, that this is a fledgling democracy. And we are coming out of centuries of undemocratic practices and culture in this country.
While President Obama called Mr. Haile Mariam's government democratically elected, he said, as in Kenya, the country still has more work to do when it comes to practicing certain democratic principles.
Making sure to open additional space for journalists, for media, for opposition voices will strengthen rather than inhibit the agenda that the Prime Minister and the ruling party has put forward.
Both leaders agreed on the need to find a resolution to the deepening crisis in South Sudan. Following Monday's bilateral talks, President Obama convened a meeting with the leaders of Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, and the African Union in hopes of finding a path to peace. The U.S. leader warned time is running out as the humanitarian situation in South Sudan grows worse by the day. Pande, VOA News, Addis Ababa.